Joey, thanks for joining us. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I got some stuff for you, some big picture stuff, some current season stuff. So I think we'll start with, this year, the way pitchers are pitching, we've got pitchers throwing more off speed than fastballs, which is
Yeah.
a huge adjustment. I mean, do you feel, or I guess what's the biggest thing you've noticed in your time in the big leagues of how pitchers have evolved and changed?
And I think you'll agree with this as a middle of the order hitter, and certainly someone that's played at a really high level, a home run threat, obviously an RBI threat, and I don't notice anything, simply because I've been pitched this way almost my entire career. I think you'll agree with that. When it's second and third, you're not just going to get split the plate fastballs. And, so this is not a major adjustment for me. I feel very, very at home with this. I'm sure there's more breaking balls than ever, but, if you're a good left-handed hitter, you should hit the right-handed breaking ball, whether it's a slider or a curveball or a cutter. The cutter's a little bit different, but no, the slider and the curveball you should most definitely hit. Those should actually be really good pitches to hit. So, yeah, I've noticed that fastballs have been down, but I've seen that through stretches of my career for sure. So it's not a major adjustment for me.
Yeah, it's like AAA. They start throwing you 2-0 changeups, and
now it's 3-0. It's 3-0 is a good hitters count sometimes. So it's changed a little bit. But again, if you're a good hitter, Justin, and so you certainly were, it's not an adjustment at all.
So with that, I think the thing that stood out, other than the off speed, the fastball, the high fastball.
Sure.
That's something I think I'm glad that I was retired before that became the go-to, because I swung at it every time. But does that, how much they've been able to elevate, 95, 96 at the top of the zone, did that have an impact on, altering your swing, your mechanics, how you kind of made a change there at the end of August?
Yeah, so I would lean more towards it being a byproduct of the strike zone shifting. If you're taking two straight high fastballs and it's an 0-2 count or a 2-0 count, that's going to change the way you attack hitters in general. The strike zone shifted. You don't get as many strike calls on the outer part of the plate as a left-handed hitter. You get way more. I feel like quite a bit more strike calls on the higher part of the plate. And if you're a good hitter, you should be able to hit any fastball no matter the part of the zone. And I'm sure that if you saw a steady diet of that, I'm sure you would have made the adjustment. So yeah, no, it's different. It's different for sure, but it's not anything a good hitter can't handle.
But that has to do with the higher leg kick, the taller stance, or was that just a feel for you?
Yeah. So, and I really feel like I really feel like I'm about to turn the corner. I've already started that process. I started attempting to stand up a little taller last year, but I failed with my direction. I tried to stand up taller last year, but I tried to get pull power instead of standing up taller like I've done for good portions of my career and trying to hit the ball in the center of the field, right of center, especially for power. And I feel like that corrects a lot of things. So this is, my attempt at standing up taller, part two. I thought that I was going to be able to just get on base a lot this year and be a tough out and not worry so much about hitting for power. But, I was getting burnt by the shift. I'd hit a ball hard. It would land in someone's glove on the right side. And then the outfielders started creeping in a little bit, and I wouldn't get any broken bats or lighter hits. And so it was like I felt suffocated by the defense. And on top of that, pitchers started splitting the plate with fastballs. They started splitting the plate with easy breaking balls and fastballs. And to be honest with you, if they're doing that, they're not afraid of you at all. And I made the adjustment just because I needed to be feared again. I needed defenses to play close to the track. I needed to have something to hit through the shift. I needed to, again, get that occasional broken bat hit. I needed pitchers to not just split the play with fastballs. I needed to be a threat. So, I've heard from from plenty of people, why didn't you do this before or whatever. When when you've had success with it, you don't know any better, and it goes quickly too. Season after season goes quickly, and you always feel like you're close. And it was an adjustment that I don't think I had a choice but to make. I feel like I'm starting to hit the ball harder again, and this is a game of power now. When I was younger, it was much more skill based. Guys were sinking and cutting balls. Command was prioritized. As a hitter, getting guys over was prioritized. Getting the hit up the middle. There's no base hits up the middle anymore. There's no ground ball base ups up the middle anymore. Pitchers don't sink the ball down and away as much as they used to. So there's no opposite field hitting as much anymore. So now it's like, I'm going to throw my best, close to 100 pitch, or I'm going to throw my best breaking ball. Can you answer that? And we're going to crowd a certain part of the field. Can you hit it through us? So all the very best hitters hit home runs. I don't think there's a single good hitter, really, really high-end good hitter, that doesn't hit a lot of home runs. And I wasn't doing that. So now I'm going to do that.
It's interesting. So I was looking at your pull numbers now. You think, because you've been pulling the ball more this year than you have than any other time. So is that a carryover from last year, or is that part of your kind of right center field pull, that's where you're going to hit for power approach?
I would look at my numbers after the benching, and probably a day or two before the benching, as more indicative of what I'm going to be doing going forward. And at some point I'm going to start getting walked, and some balls will fall in. I mean, if we want to get into, some more, I guess not advanced numbers, but, less traditional numbers, my BABIP's really low. So I've been probably pretty unlucky. I'm better than a low 200s BABIP, which, is why I'm low 200s batting average right now. But, I'm paying most attention to, I've never liked striking out, but I'm giving into that a little bit more. But I've seen a real uptick in my ISO, starting to hit for more power. I really feel like if I start hitting more home runs and I start driving the ball more, which I can. The thing is, I'm healthy. I feel good, and the bat's coming through the zone well. When I make contact, it's coming off hard. If I do that more often, I feel like I'm back to exactly where I want to be. I don't want to get too brash here, but I feel really good.
So which stats? And I mean, I know there's a million numbers, but what are you a exit velo, or do you pay attention to launch angle? Are you a slug guy? Are you an OPS? I mean, I know obviously on base is important for you, and I think you said it, because you have more protection now. You've got a little more depth in your lineup. You felt like if you got on base, that was going to be good enough. But which direction do you like to go to kind of evaluate yourself?
I'm going to use. I really like when my strikeout and walk are very close, but I kind of can that. I've kind of put that away for a little bit, and I'm going to lock in almost exclusively on hitting for power. I'm going to pay attention to my ISO. I'm going to pay attention because, we don't have the luxury of 162 games where I can go from hitting 220 to 280 to, who knows from there. I've got a history of hitting, over 300. But I do feel like hitting for power, again, will spread the outfield out. Again, will spread the infield out. And pitchers will, in all likelihood, be a little bit more cautious in the strike zone. So I'm paying almost entirely attention to hitting the ball in the air and a high exit velocity. Those are the two things I'm paying attention to, and that's gonna I think, carry into having a high ISO. And ISO is like separating, for the people out there, separating slugging percentage from a batting average. So if I'm hitting right now 220 and I have 440 slugging percentage, my ISO would be 220. So that's anything over 200 is good. Anything over 300 is, the best in the game. And I've gone through long stretches of somewhere in the 250 range. So I think I can do that and more again.
Now we'll go a little more big picture stuff. Larry Walker is supposed to go in the Hall of Fame this year.
He's a Hall of Famer. Yes. Wonderful. It's great for us position players to have a Canadian representative.
Where do you see your career? Do you ever look at that, or are you going to wait till you're done before you kind of look at that type of thing? Do you feel like now you've made a case that you belong there, or is that something that's not even crossing your mind and you're just waiting and you're just trying to get through today?
And I don't mean to deflect the question, but when you're in the middle of playing ball, I think you can relate. I know you can relate because you did this your entire career. You just want to play good in the uniform that you have right now. You want to just be a good player. It's the reason why we hit batting practice at noon for a 7 p.m. game, or we stay after the game like a lunatic and hit, for 45 minutes screaming. We want to be good for the uniform we're playing right now. And I look at players that finish their career well. I'm not so concerned about the Hall of Fame as much as I'm concerned about, I just want to be proud of my finish. I want to look back and be like, wow, you did it, man. Like, way to go. You didn't just limp through the finish line. You flew through the finish line. And more than anything, I want to have fun through the last few years of my career. Like I said, I'm healthy. I feel good. I'm learning. I'm making adjustments. I have adjustments that are giving me hope that I can maybe even be better. I don't want to get ahead of myself, maybe even be better. And I just want to have fun through the last few years and think to myself, wow, you played really good throughout your whole career. And if that ends up, garnering some sort of accolade or some sort of, whatever, so be it. I'm confident I've had a really good career so far, but I'm almost entirely focused on playing well. And, I look at other athletes, the Drew Breeses, Tom Brady's, Tim Duncan's, Mariano Rivera's, Derek Jeter's, all these players that seem to play well throughout, LeBron James in the NBA seem to play well through the last day of their career. And I envy that because they had fun and they were a part of winning teams all the way to the very end. And that's where my sole focus is. So. Yeah.
I know you mentioned the end a couple times. Is that a number? Or is that the end of the contract? Is that till you feel like you're productive or you're healthy? Or I know for me, my body just kind of gave out on me and there was nothing left.
Yeah.
I know it's a tough thing. Probably not something you want to answer today, but obviously we all go through it at some point and it happens. Everybody retires, play baseball forever. But I don't know. I mean, you've got a chance. You're second place right now. You guys got a chance to play in the postseason. I never won a postseason series. I mean,
yeah, me neither.
Is that what's left? Is it as if you win the World Series in a year or two? Is that icing on the cake, or is it as long as you can play healthy and have fun, like you just said?
Yeah, I don't. The contract wouldn't. If I'm playing well, it wouldn't necessarily dictate the end of my career. Again, I can't predict the future, but in the short term, I just turned 37, and like I said, I feel really good, and I'm excited. We have a game tonight against the White Sox, and I'm sorry if this is killing your your recording, but I'm so excited about the game tonight. I cannot wait to hit in the first inning, and if that feeling leaves me, or if I'm not feeling healthy, motivated. I'm as motivated. I was talking to a teammate of mine in St. Louis the other day, and we were in the cage, and I was struggling. I'll be honest with you, I was struggling. Certainly, I struggled last year. Every at bat felt like a grind, and then this year, through the first little bit, every at bat felt like a grind. And I made the adjustments, and I just started chasing some really simple things, and I just started having more fun in the box, and it showed up in performance. I mean, obviously you can't have too much fun without performance going hand in hand with it, right? And I told him, I feel like I'm 18 again. I feel like I'm in the Gulf Coast League. I feel like I'm putting on a Reds uniform for the first time as an 18-year-old kid, meeting new teammates, and just excited to work, excited to play tonight's game, excited to get better. And if I have that feeling, I feel like there's a pretty good chance I'll want to play for a while, So that's kind of the feeling I'm chasing, and of course, you have a family, maybe things change if I have a family one day, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe I want to continue to play. So I'm excited for tonight's at bat. That's my answer.
Yeah. See, that's the best. You know how I knew I was done? We were playing in Chicago. We were playing against the Minnesota Twins. It was the 8th or 9th inning. Both teams were out of it. There was nothing left to play for. Robin Ventura came up to me and he said, you want to hit? And I looked at him and I knew immediately my feeling was, no, I'm good.
Oh,
And I
man.
knew at that moment I was done.
Wow.
And
That's
we
profound.
drove home from Chicago. My wife was there. I cried on the way home because I knew it was over. And
Yeah.
I ended up coming back to play WBC for Canada one last time. But
Yeah.
I knew my major league career was over. As soon as I knew I didn't want that at bat,
Yeah.
I was done. And I don't know if anyone ever gets that much clarity, but for me, it was pretty simple. If I didn't want to hit in the big leagues, an opportunity in a big league game, and nothing to do with the pitcher, just desire, and it wasn't fun anymore for me. And it was a grind, like you said. So I'm glad that you found that. So hopefully that continues for a long time. I appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you. Are you glad you're done?
No, I mean, I miss it all the time, but
you do.
Now I get to talk about it. So
yeah,
I get to spend time with my family, and I get to see my kids grow up. So
of course, yeah.
Not many people get to do that. So it's a good place to be.
Yeah.